Welcome to the EDU 284 Cyber Safety Module Number 1, Digital Safety and Early Learning Foundation in Early Childhood. In today's early childhood settings, technology is an integral part of how we teach, communicate, and document learning. As educators, it is essential that we model safe, ethical, and responsible technology use for ourselves, the children in our care, and their families. This 4-lesson module is designed to help you apply the principles of NAEYC's Code of Ethical Conduct and the NC Foundations for Early Learning and Development. In this module, you will learn practical strategies for introducing technology to young children, how to teach online safety, and how you can model safe technology practices in your classroom. By the end of this module, you will be able to confidently integrate safe and developmentally appropriate technology practices into your early childhood setting. Let's begin. In this cyber safety lesson, we will explore developmentally appropriate strategies for teaching young children about online safety and digital awareness. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to define digital safety and explain why it is important in early childhood environments. You will also identify age-appropriate ways to introduce online safety concepts to young learners and explain how intentional, developmentally appropriate use of technology supports children's learning, relationships, and safe digital experiences. You will learn how to teach children to protect personal information and seek help from trusted adults. We will also explore the connections between digital safety, self-regulation, and social-emotional development. Finally, you will develop an activity or resource that models safe technology habits for young children. Let's begin by reviewing the key concepts and then applying them through a practical classroom activity. Before you begin this lesson, take a moment to reflect on your current understanding of digital safety in early childhood education. This pre-assessment helps you think about what you already know and what you hope to learn. First, consider what digital safety means to you in a classroom setting. Next, reflect on how comfortable you feel teaching young children about safe and appropriate use of technology. Finally, think about strategies or examples you have seen or can imagine that help children learn to be safe online. Jot down your thoughts, and we will revisit these questions at the end of the lesson to see how your perspective has grown. There are no right or wrong answers. This is simply a way to reflect on your learning journey. Technology is becoming a natural part of children's everyday environments, both at school and at home. In early childhood settings, technology can support learning, communication, documentation, and inclusion when it is used thoughtfully and responsibly. When we use technology with intention, it can enhance children's development by providing interactive learning opportunities, supporting diverse learning needs, and strengthening family communication. The key is to ensure technology is used in a way that is age-appropriate, safe, and guided by an adult. In early childhood classrooms, technology appears in many forms and serves several purposes. One of the most common uses is tablets or touchscreen devices. These are often used for educational games, stories, or art activities that support early literacy and creativity. Smartboards are also common and can be used for songs, group lessons, and virtual field trips that engage the whole class. Computers are typically used for guided exploration or media projects, often with adult support. It is important to remember that technology should be used intentionally and in developmentally appropriate ways. When used thoughtfully, these tools can enhance learning and support children's engagement. This slide highlights the use of technology by educators and within the administrative side of early childhood programs. Teachers often use online tools for lesson planning, sharing resources, and collaborating with colleagues. Professional development and training frequently occur through webinars or online courses. Technology also supports secure record-keeping, licensing documentation, and other administrative tasks that help programs run smoothly and safely. In addition, technology is used in other classroom areas to support inclusion and accessibility. Assistive and adaptive technology, such as communication devices, speech-to-text tools, and sensory-friendly supports, can help children participate more fully. Many devices also have accessibility settings that support children with diverse learning needs. As you consider your own classroom, think about where technology already exists and where you might add it to support learning, inclusion, and safe practice. This slide highlights that digital safety is a shared responsibility among children, educators, and parents or caregivers. For children, digital safety means learning how to use technology in ways that keep them protected and respectful. This includes understanding boundaries, following rules, and knowing when to ask for help. For educators, digital safety means creating safe learning environments, teaching responsible technology use, and modeling ethical behavior. It also includes making sure technology is used appropriately and intentionally in the classroom. For parents and caregivers, digital safety involves supporting children at home, reinforcing safe habits, and staying informed about how children are using technology. Overall, digital safety is about protecting children, supporting families, and modeling responsible technology use for everyone involved. Digital safety for children is not just about rules. It's about adults making intentional choices to protect children and support healthy development. When we think about digital safety, the first thing to remember is that adults choose the content. This means only using age-appropriate apps, videos, and games, and avoiding open or unsupervised internet access. Whenever possible, choose learning-focused content that is ad-free and free of distracting or inappropriate material. Next, adults must stay present. Technology should be used with children, not instead of caregivers. This means we are sitting with them, watching, listening, and interacting during screen time. Screens should not replace play, conversation, or relationships. Instead, technology should support learning and strengthen connections between adults and children. Another important piece is learning through modeling. Children learn digital safety by watching us. So we need to model behaviors like not sharing personal information, not engaging in independent messaging or online interactions, and always prioritizing privacy and safety. This helps children understand that online spaces require the same respect and boundaries as real-life situations. Ultimately, children are protected when adults use technology in a calm, respectful way. When digital experiences reflect classroom values and are guided by adults, children feel safe and supported. In short, digital safety happens when adults make thoughtful choices to ensure technology experiences are safe, supervised, age-appropriate, and supportive of healthy development. In early childhood classrooms, digital safety is taught through everyday actions and modeling. One important strategy is choosing safe content. Before children use an app or watch a video, the teacher previews it to ensure it is age-appropriate, ad-free, and aligned with learning goals. This helps ensure children are only exposed to safe and meaningful digital experiences. Another key strategy is modeling privacy and boundaries. Teachers explain in simple terms that personal information such as names, addresses, or school details should not be shared online. Children learn these boundaries by watching adults consistently protect their privacy and talk through safe choices. Finally, teachers support digital safety by teaching safe navigation. Children are encouraged to stop and ask for help if something unexpected appears on the screen. By reassuring children that it is always okay to ask for help, teachers create a safe environment where children feel supported and protected while using technology. Digital safety does not stop at the classroom door. It extends to families as well. One important part of protecting children's digital safety is respecting their privacy. Families should ask permission before sharing photos or videos and avoid posting full names, locations, or daily schedules online. It's also important to follow school policies when sharing classroom images to help keep children safe. Another key area is the use of privacy settings. Families can support digital safety by adjusting privacy controls on social media and apps, using parental controls, and creating child profiles when available. Keeping accounts private helps limit who can view family content. Families also model digital safety through everyday communication. Using calm and respectful language online shows children how adults handle conflict and emotions in digital spaces. Finally, managing screen time is an important part of digital safety. Setting consistent limits, prioritizing play and conversation, and using screens intentionally rather than as a default activity supports healthy development. When families make thoughtful, respectful choices about technology use, they help protect children's privacy, model positive behavior, and strengthen the partnership between home and school. On this slide, you will see a link to a sample family flyer. This flyer is a simple one-page resource that could be sent home to families to support digital safety. It provides families with practical tips for protecting children's privacy, managing screen time, and modeling respectful use of technology at home. As you review the flyer, think about how this type of resource can strengthen the partnership between home and school. This example is meant to help you visualize what a clear, family-friendly communication tool might look like. Use this example as a guide when developing your own resource to share with families. Digital safety is also a critical part of a teacher's professional responsibility. One key area is protecting student information. This means keeping child records, images, and data confidential, following program, state, and federal privacy policies, and never sharing identifying information on personal platforms. Professional communication is another important responsibility. Teachers should use approved platforms when communicating with families, maintain a respectful, calm tone, and adhere to appropriate boundaries and response times. This helps build trust and keeps communication clear and professional. When working with families, our role is to educate and support, not to police. Teachers can model thoughtful posting and messaging, avoid emotional or reactive online interactions, and show children and families what professionalism looks like in digital spaces. Finally, modeling respectful digital behavior means guiding families without judgment, clearly sharing expectations, and partnering with them to support safe digital practices. By using technology ethically, intentionally, and professionally, teachers protect children's privacy, maintain trust with families, and model responsible digital behavior in alignment with ethical and program standards. Before moving forward, take a moment to review the reflection questions on this slide. I encourage you to pause the training and spend a few minutes reflecting on your own practices and ideas related to digital safety. This is an opportunity to think intentionally about what you may want to change, strengthen, or begin implementing in your classroom. When you are ready, resume the training to continue the lesson. The purpose of this segment is to understand that young children do not learn digital safety through rules, warnings, or abstract explanations. Instead, they learn best through relationships, repetition, modeling, and concrete experiences. At this age, children need adults to show them what safe technology use looks like in real, everyday moments. This segment focuses on how teachers can introduce digital safety concepts in ways that young children can understand. By using simple language, consistent routines, and hands-on experiences, teachers help children build safe habits over time. When digital safety is taught in developmentally appropriate ways, it becomes part of children's daily learning rather than a set of rules to memorize. When we think about teaching digital safety to young children, it's important to remember that it is taught the same way we teach physical and emotional safety. We use stories, visuals, songs, and consistent routines to help children understand expectations. Most importantly, children learn through adult modeling and repetition. At this stage, the goal is not to be independent of technology. Instead, we are building habits and understanding. By consistently modeling safe behaviors and using simple, familiar strategies, we help children build a foundation for safe, responsible technology use over time. Stories are one of the most powerful ways young children learn about safety. Children naturally understand safety through narratives and characters, and stories help them make sense of abstract ideas in a concrete way. When children hear familiar story formats, they feel safe and are less likely to become confused or fearful. Teachers can use stories to teach digital safety by reading books where characters make safe or unsafe choices. You can also use puppets or social stories to bring the message to life. While reading, pause and ask simple questions like, "Was that a safe choice?" or "Who helps the character stay safe?" This encourages children to think about safety in a supportive way. Some examples of digital safety concepts taught through stories include asking an adult before using a device, turning to a trusted adult when unsure, and being kind with words and actions. These stories help children learn that safety is a habit they can practice every day. Visuals are essential when teaching digital safety to young children because they are visual learners. Images help children understand language and make expectations more concrete and predictable. When children can see what safe choices look like, they are more likely to remember and follow them. Teachers can use several types of visuals to support digital safety. Picture charts showing safe versus unsafe choices, simple icons like stop, help, or adult, and classroom posters such as "An adult helps me with technology" or "Screens are for learning" are all effective. These visuals provide clear reminders for children and help reinforce safety routines. When using visuals, it is best to choose real photos or simple illustrations that children can easily understand. Keep visuals consistent across classroom routines and refer to them during teachable moments. For example, if a child is unsure about what to do, you can point to the chart and ask, "What does the picture say we should do?" This helps children connect the visual to the expected behavior. Songs are a powerful tool for teaching digital safety because they support memory and self-regulation. When children learn through music, repetition helps build automatic responses, and the learning feels safe and joyful. Songs also create a predictable routine, which is important for young children's understanding and comfort. Examples of safety songs or chants can be very simple. Short, repetitive phrases like "stop, think, ask an adult," or "if I'm unsure, I ask for help," can be set to familiar tunes. You can also create chants that children can easily remember and repeat. The best part is that these songs can be connected to daily routines. For example, you might sing a safety song before using classroom technology or repeat it during transitions involving screens. You can even use the same song at home to create a strong connection between school and family. When children hear the same message in different settings, they are more likely to remember and practice safe digital habits. Okay, friends, we are going to sing our digital safety song. This song helps us remember what to do before we use technology. We stop, we think, and we ask an adult if we're not sure. Let's sing together. When it comes to digital safety, children learn more from what they observe than what we tell them. They notice how we use devices, how we talk about technology, and how we respond when something goes wrong or doesn't work. That's why teacher modeling is so important. Modeling best practices means narrating safe behavior out loud. For example, you might say, "I'm going to ask before I take a picture," or "This app is for learning." When children hear us speak in this way, they begin to understand that technology use is intentional and guided by rules. It's also important to stay calm and supportive, especially when mistakes or confusion happen. Avoid reactive or fearful language. Instead, show children how to handle problems respectfully and responsibly. On the next slide, you'll watch a short video showing educators using effective strategies to support children during media use in the classroom. Pay attention to how they model safe and intentional technology habits. NAEYC, the National Association for the Education of Young Children, is one of the guiding organizations for early childhood education. As early childhood professionals, we use NAEYC's position statements and guidance to shape our practices, including how we use technology in our classrooms. NAEYC's position statement on technology states that technology and interactive media can support learning and development when used intentionally by educators. Technology should be used within the framework of developmentally appropriate practice and in support of the learning goals established for individual children. In other words, technology is a tool, not the focus, and it should be used thoughtfully to enhance learning. The position statement also reminds us that children's experiences with technology and media are increasingly part of their everyday lives. That means we must consider technology as part of the developmentally appropriate framework for young children. When we plan technology experiences, we need to consider children's age, needs, and learning goals, and use technology in ways that support positive development and learning. Now that we've reviewed the NAEYC position statement, let's look at the practical guidance they provide, along with that of the Fred Rogers Center. These recommendations help us apply the position statement in real classroom settings. First, technology should be used intentionally and developmentally appropriately. That means we don't use technology just because it's available. We use it when it supports a clear learning goal, uses high-quality content, and includes shared engagement between adults and children. Second, technology should be balanced with hands-on, active, and creative learning. Young children learn best through play, movement, and interaction. Technology should never replace those experiences. Third, NAEYC recommends that children under age 2 should not use passive media. For ages 2 to 5, passive screen time should be limited. In other words, if a child is just watching a video without interaction, that is not considered a high-quality learning experience. For children under 2, technology should only be used to support responsive adult-child interaction. If a device is used, it should be part of a shared experience with a caregiver, not a solo activity. Next, we should follow public health screen time recommendations and consider both school and home use. It's important that families and educators are on the same page so children experience consistency across settings. Finally, we must promote equitable access to technology. Not all families have equal access to devices or the internet, so it's our responsibility to ensure that learning opportunities are fair and accessible to every child. These guidelines help us use technology in ways that support learning, relationships, and safety, while keeping children's development at the center. Fred Rogers was a powerful model for how we can use technology with young children. He always approached media with intentionality, with child development at the center, not simply as entertainment. That's an important distinction. His philosophy reminds us that technology should enhance relationships and learning, not replace human connection. When children feel safe, seen, and supported, technology becomes a tool that supports their growth rather than a distraction. So, what are the guiding principles we should remember? First, technology must be intentional and developmentally appropriate. We choose tools and activities that match children's abilities and learning goals. Second, technology should support learning, relationships, and interactions, not replace them. It should be used to promote conversation, collaboration, and connection. Finally, technology becomes truly effective when it is transparent and integrated into meaningful classroom experiences. It should fit naturally into what children are already doing, supporting real learning instead of feeling like a separate activity. On this slide, we see the core idea of intentional practice. In early childhood settings, technology is not just something we add because it's available. We select technology based on child safety and developmental goals. That means we choose tools that match what children are ready to learn and what we want them to achieve. Next, we think about how technology is used. The tools should always be used with adult facilitation and guided interaction. Young children learn best when an adult is present to support them, guide their choices, and help them make sense of what they are doing. When we talk about cyber safety, we're talking about more than just blocking websites or limiting screen time. Cyber safety includes protecting children's privacy, teaching safe behaviors, and embedding safety into real learning experiences. It's about helping children understand safe digital habits in a way they can actually use. At the bottom of the slide, the flowchart shows the connections among intentional choices, safe use, and learning outcomes. We start with intentional choices, choosing the right technology and the right learning goals. Then we ensure safe use by ensuring supervision, privacy protection, and clear boundaries. And when those two pieces are in place, we can achieve meaningful learning outcomes that support children's development.
On our scavenger hunt, you told me we might see flowers.
Yeah.
Someone said pine cones.
That was me.
Very good, Skylar. We're gonna watch video of some other kids who did this exact same thing. Just like what you're gonna do. The best way to prep kids for watching a video, do you have your listening ears on? Is I explain to them what they're gonna be seeing.
Look what I found, another ball.
Now they're ready. They know what they're gonna see, and it's purposeful, and this is what I'm gonna be doing.
We're putting our collections on the table. Try making a collection of the things that you find.
All right, Colby, it's your turn. So you can slide over. Colby, your turn. Using media and technology, I would say the important part is, as an educator, you're there as a support system for the child. So if the child needs your help, then you're there to guide them. What comes next? H-I-O. Having their peers with them is important as well. They have someone who's controlling the mouse, but then there's two children sitting there, and they're getting that conversational piece, and they might be able to assist one another.
Here's a fly in my alphabet soup.
I'm going to work with ramps.
Let's do that.
But I have a prediction.
In the morning circle, we started the day with a prediction.
Some of the things that we put on the ramp will slide, and some of them will roll.
And this was an introduction to a lot of things that were going to be happening during the day with the ramps. That included the videos.
What about a crayon?
Roll.
You think roll. And why do you think it's going to roll? What makes you say that?
Because it's a circle.
So before the children watch, I might give them one question, and I'm going to ask you to tell me what rolls down the ramp.
What's that?
Apple.
Did that roll or slide?
Roll.
The apple
Nothing
rolls.
slides up.
Now we're watching a video about ramps.
I also had the children watch the live action video.
This ball is heavy. This ball is light.
The children would watch the other children and want to do it too.
We're gonna see which one wins a race.
Which one won? The heavier ball. Would you like to try that?
I never turn off the lights when I'm having the children watch a video.
Listen, we're going to learn.
And it's very important that you sit with them.
What is that?
On this slide, we are focusing on how teachers help children understand what personal information is and why it needs to be protected. First, we teach children, in simple language, what personal information is. We explain that things like their name, where they live, their school name, or a picture of themselves are personal details. We make it clear that this is private information and not something we share freely. Next, we emphasize that asking for help is a safety skill, not tattling or a sign of failure. We want children to feel confident and supported when they are unsure. When a child comes to a teacher and says, "I'm not sure about this," we respond calmly and positively. We reinforce that asking for help keeps them safe. We also teach children a clear rule: screens are not for secrets. If something makes them feel unsure, uncomfortable, or confused, they should always tell a grown-up. To support this, we use simple phrases that children can repeat and remember, like, "I ask a grown-up." "Grown-ups help keep me safe." "I tell when I feel unsure." These statements help children understand that safety is about connection and communication, not just rules. When we talk about digital safety in early childhood, we are also talking about self-regulation. Young children are still learning how to control impulses, follow rules, and make safe choices. Technology use provides real opportunities to practice these skills. For example, children learn to stop and think before clicking, to follow classroom rules for device use, and to ask an adult for help when something does not feel right. Teaching digital safety helps children develop self-control and decision-making skills that are essential both online and offline. How children interact with technology affects their emotions, relationships, and sense of security. When we teach digital safety, we are also teaching respect, empathy, and understanding of personal boundaries. Children learn that their actions can affect others, even in digital spaces. Clear guidance and adult support help children feel safe, build confidence, and develop healthy relationships with peers and adults. Teachers play a critical role in helping children develop digital safety, self-regulation, and social-emotional skills. By modeling calm and responsible technology use, educators show children what appropriate behavior looks like. Establishing clear expectations and routines creates a predictable and safe digital environment. Teachers also guide children by setting age-appropriate rules, monitoring technology use, and teaching children when and how to ask for help. Partnering with families ensures these skills are reinforced consistently at school and at home. Now that we have explored the key concepts related to digital safety and self-regulation, it is time to put this knowledge into practice. In this section, you will focus on how these ideas can be applied in real early childhood settings. The activities and examples that follow are designed to help you model safe technology habits and support children's social-emotional development in meaningful, age-appropriate ways. On this slide, we are focusing on how teachers can actively model safe technology habits for young children. One simple and effective strategy is the stop, think, ask routine. This routine helps children pause before using technology and builds early self-regulation skills. The teacher begins by modeling the steps out loud. First, we stop and pause before touching the device. Next, we think about whether what we are doing is safe and allowed. Finally, we ask a trusted adult if we are unsure. Children then practice these steps through role play or by using classroom technology. This routine should be repeated consistently during technology use, so children begin to internalize safe and responsible behaviors. Over time, this helps children develop awareness, confidence, and responsibility when interacting with digital tools. Age group. Toddlers benefit most from visual supports and adult modeling, while preschoolers can begin using simple language and engaging in discussions. Older children can problem solve and explain their choices. Materials are intentionally simple and may include a visual chart, classroom devices, and a short social story about technology safety. Teachers should practice the routine during group time and reinforce the language throughout the day. Finally, family involvement is encouraged. Sharing the routine with families allows children to hear the same safety language at home and school, which strengthens learning and supports consistent expectations. Now that you've completed this lesson, let's take a moment to reflect on what you've learned. This is your post-test check-in to see how your understanding has grown. First, think about the question: how familiar are you now with teaching children about digital safety? Consider what you learned about protecting privacy, modeling safe technology use, and teaching children to ask for help when they are unsure. If you feel more confident, that's great. This lesson was designed to help you move from understanding the concept to applying it in real classroom situations. If you still feel unsure in some areas, that's okay too. The goal is progress, not perfection. Congratulations! You have now completed EDU 284 Cyber Safety Lesson 1. Thank you for taking the time to explore how we can teach digital safety in early childhood settings through intentional, developmentally appropriate practices. You have learned how to protect children's privacy, model responsible technology use, and introduce safety concepts in ways young learners can understand. I hope you feel more confident in your ability to support safe technology habits in your classroom and partner with families to reinforce those skills at home. Next, please complete the quiz to evaluate your understanding and identify areas to continue strengthening your cybersecurity practices. Join me in the next lesson as we continue building practical strategies for the safe and ethical use of technology in early childhood education. Great work! See you there.